Okay, Thursday, 29th of February 2024, day recap trade review for the ES and the NQ. Uh, Decent day today in terms of that I ended up green, but really not good performance at all. I'm just not getting up to the part where I should be, and yeah, really lacking in terms of my own performance against my system that I built and set. The system keeps on performing well. Obviously, the system is robotic, but I, with my emotions, just keep on fumbling it, keep on picking and choosing trades, and end up paying for it either with excessive losses or missed opportunities. That is the general cycle that I've been in. Just not being able to follow my system and my plan exactly as a layout. So even though I did take a good trade, sort of good trade, and did turn out green, there were many mistakes that I made throughout the day. Regardless, let's go with the plan first, and then we'll see what I did against my plan. ES again had a very simple plan, very clear levels, and NQ still a little bit dicey, a little bit shady, given the effectiveness of the levels, and that is what my plan also portrayed. Very clean, effective plan on ES. ES has this 88, 93 region acting as a pivot throughout the last 5 days, and this 67, 71 area again acting as support for buyers over the last 3 days. And the plan was simple. Obviously, there was PCE at 8:30 in the morning, and that's why I had my initial levels planned before PCE, and I waited for PCE's reaction and ended up making a plan based on that. PCE, of course, just turned out into a massive ripper. So overnight, before PCE was coming out, pretty much came up to the top of the level, sold off, came up to the bottom 67 region, head faked a little bit underneath, so we did try to extend, but then for 3 or 4 hours before PCE, we were just in this 3-4 point range and just not doing anything, obviously waiting for new information to hit the market, which it hits right at 8:30, and we go zooming past straight 35-40 handles. And that's when I decided longs are most likely a better idea. And then I wanted to, since we are opening on a gap up, we are opening above this prior resistance pivot level, I wanted to see if we can extend at least until 5100 first, and then come back and hold this. And then at that point of time, this will be double confluence as in prior day's highs here, so this will be a gap fill reversal to say. And also this has been the pivot, the volume profile ledges here, so many things going for this area. And obviously we opened now in 5100, and I was looking for longs from here. And the other thing was I had this level, the upper ledge here, so if we were to open on a gap up and not test this reference, not fill the gap initially, and straight up go up to the 510710 area, I would have been looking there for a short first. But it was dependent on the fact that we haven't already tested this after the open, and we just ran straight past. Obviously that never came through, so that part of the plan was invalid. And the other nuance in the plan was, even if this 93 was to break, I was not looking to short it. Simple region was the strength of the PCE, and it was simple. If it breaks, there is no shot, but I can look for a long from this level if we come up here, and even if it breaks, I can look for a long on a reclaim and like break out, reclaim, and go. Simple plan, decent levels. Now coming to the NQ overnight story, same as the ES, wherein we went a little bit higher, came back lower, and then held here at this prior gap level. We have a 320 points gap below, and we held there for 3-4 hours waiting for new market generated information. Obviously the news hit and we just ripped higher, and that was that. So again, on the NQ, I did not have very well defined levels, so in some ways to say I had an even simpler plan, because there was really only one level out. What's up, mommy? कितने कपड़े हैं? And in my efforts to go for VWAP, it obviously rolled back in, and then as it came back up again, I again got greedy and did not get out at or almost at the open, and I let it come down, and I ended up giving 10 points back, and I just closed on weakness on down ticks, and that is the biggest issue with this trade. The greed set in, and then I could not really hold. Eventually did end up tagging VWAP, which I was looking for in the first place, but in order of fulfilling my greed, I ended up giving 10 points back, which I was trying to make. So in a way, it came out 20 points short. Not objectively, but missed this 10 and then obviously gave back this 10. So the biggest issue with the trade, if I had just followed the system, I would still have taken a 2-to-1 tight stop. It would have been less than what I got. But since I had a wider stop and I had a plan, there were a lot of emotional aspects of trading that came out, even with a decent trade, and pretty much turned it into a shit trade, because hesitation kicked in while entering, greed kicked in while exiting. It can't get probably worse than that. And then at the same time this was happening, ES also tested its gap. This is the gap level, and it did shoot down a little bit, but then I missed this entry here because this didn't really extend. It just head fake slightly, and I ended up missing this because I was entering and just looking at my position in NQ, and then I had opportunity here when this was wicking down, and I hesitated and I left this trade. I was in an NQ long already, so it's not the biggest deal, but I'm not really, I just have to take whatever my system says. I'm not really looking for correlation risk or anything. So this was a trade that I hesitated and missed on. Then once I missed, I had a plan that if it pulls back to the gap level, I will take a long, because this will still be a point of my original entry if I were to take it, and then I can set my risk against this thing and go along from there. Again, obviously it came back, but I hesitated here again. There's no point in entering here after the change because the risk is already set against the prior swing. But I just kept on hesitating. When it's pulling back down, I'm just thinking, where's the end of this pullback? I want that every last take out of it. And obviously it drips back up, and what would have been a 7-8 point win, I just left there because of my hesitation. And then I again did not take it here, but at this point of time, things are starting to shift slightly. Obviously, the hesitation was still there. Not saying there wasn't hesitation still. I was still hesitating. There was just things seem to have changed because NQ was clearly rejecting its open. That's what I had marked here somewhere. I always think the same thing, that where's the end of this pullback? And then it's holding the gap, but it can't really extend that much. NQ rejecting its opening print already 1, 2, 3 times, and that is when I just gave up on these long ideas here. The hesitation part did not go away, that was still there, but I had given up on the long idea at least here. Here I was hesitating, here again I was hesitating, here I had given up on the idea, and that turned out to be a decent thing. And obviously we rolled back down. While this was happening, NQ gave another chance for me to enter right on the gap close. So this time the gap actually closed, and I hesitated. I did not want to give back any profits that I made on the initial trade, in which I've already given 10 points back. But that's just my emotional side of trading. That's not my system or my objective side of trading. The last trade does not matter and should not matter. This trade is completely independent of the previous trade or the next trade, and that's what I need to build on, because obviously if this was to be a loss on a day, I don't know which side of my emotional being would have kicked in. Either I would have taken this trade thinking that, okay, it's just another trade, and probably what I do in those kind of situations is either just, after taking the initial loss, just sit out for the entire day, which I did for the last 2 days. Obviously a terrible thing to do. Or what I do is pick and choose the rest of the trades during the rest of the day. An even worse thing to do, because I pick and choose all the bad ones, because obviously I'm not thinking clearly and objectively, and I end up finishing with a rather large loss, 3-4 trades that I played, and all of them turn out to be losses. That's what happened the previous week. So still not truly accepting the uniqueness of each outcome, which obviously ends up costing me in one way or the other. So I missed this trade, and that was that. There's nothing to be done here. It never really gave a proper break and readers. This is just, even though I wanted to short here, this break is just the range extension isn't really not that much. It's almost like not here. I would not take a long here if this was the case. I still needed to come down a little bit more than retest, and I would have taken that shot. Nothing to say that I would have taken, but that would have been a valid entry point. This is not a valid entry point. And then when this was happening, ES came right to the level, and the same story repeats again. I missed on this hesitation. Obviously the selling that came in was strong. The liquidation was strong. I don't know liquidation or just straight up selling, I'd say straight up selling because there was heaps of selling even on the way up, but the buyers obviously turned out to be stronger. And I missed it. And I hesitated even on the wicks. So I had clear opportunity, ample time, further opportunities, but it's just me letting my previous trade affect next trade, and that's not how it works, because obviously the system doesn't produce straight up 3-4 good trades every day. And it's my job to take all of them when they arise. It's my job to take all of them every day, because I just don't know the outcome of any trade. There's no way for me to know. I do not need to know. I just need to follow the system. And so, because obviously this system, like any other trading system, has it takes losses. So I can't be missing this part of my all the positive part of my sample size, and then blame the system later that there's something wrong with the system, because yeah. So that's something I need to improve upon. And pretty much that was that for the day. So this wasn't a short here because we have already completed the spectrum of opportunity, and I wasn't looking to short on the breakdown of this level anyway. I said in the plan. So this was a trade here, just this one. This one was I made up, but I obviously did not take. That's another story. This was a valid trade, so 2 valid trades. And then maybe this one here. This one I wasn't really hesitating, but I just wasn't looking for a trade at this point of time, and I only really marked this in hindsight while doing my review that unlike what happened here in NQ, this is a decent breakout. This is a good pullback. This is a good change, and yeah, so this is a solid another opportunity to get back on from where we have come. And there was so much selling going on here. It doesn't look like this on the footprint, but there was just insane order flow. If I were to look back in my video journal, it was something to watch. I've never seen something like this happen before. It's just strong bids keep coming in, but strong offers keep coming in, and then strong bids keep coming in, and strong offers keep coming in, and then both sides hit thousands and thousands of lots on the market. It was something to see, something to watch. But regardless, so I missed 2 or maybe 3 trade opportunities, and they all produced positive outcomes within my first try, and that's that. There was nothing really on NQ other than these 2, so I ended up the day green, but the day should have been a lot greener. It should have been a lot simpler. And all in all, yeah, just follow the system. That's that. Awesome.